Hey guys, my name's Paul Howard. I'm the owner and head coach of ZEP mountain bike camps. This year I'm celebrating my 20th year teaching mountain biking professionally, and to sort of mark that milestone, we're going to bring back our ZEP Mythbusters series, but in video form. And that's the plan today. So to sort of start this series, we're going to just make up a few videos that are really to do with bringing things back to basics. So in this video today, we're going to address front brake myths, and then give you a few drills, exercises you can practice in your driveway on a quiet road, perfect for the current virus situation, and really build some fundamental feeling and skill back into your braking. And then we'll have a quick chat about how that can impact your riding in a positive way, in different scenarios and in different terrain. So firstly, let's have a quick chat about some of the myths. So some things we still see these days is beginner riders kind of being fearful or being taught to not use their front brake, and that impacts their riding negatively in a lot of ways, but it kind of continues into their riding, and then when they become an intermediate rider, you still see some of those habits and fears impacting their riding. So for beginners, this is key. We want to try and build confidence and show them that the front brake is a safe tool to use. It's not something to fear. And then for intermediate riders, the common thing we see is a lot of skidding on steeper trails or skidding on loose surfaces. And anytime the back wheel is skidding, it's a sign that the rider is using the back brake too much and they're using the front brake not enough. The other myth we often hear and see is if you're braking hard, especially with the front brake, that you need to shift your weight back. So we're going to address some of those things today through the exercises we do. So what you're going to do, very simple, in your driveway, quiet road somewhere, lower your seat a little bit just to give you a bit more room to move. Obviously do a bike check, make sure your brakes are working good, make sure you're warmed up before you start. But once you get into it, just do some loops and start feeling out the front brake by itself. And as you do it, stand up in a centered neutral position, and as you gradually increase the power on the front brake, practice bracing with your upper body, so your arms, chest, elbows, being strong, so as the bike slows down, the body doesn't continue moving forward. Everything slows down as one unit, and that's what's going to give you the control, the stability, and going to avoid any kind of rotation forward. How to do that, like I mentioned, bracing with the arms, getting a little bit lower, dropping the heels. They're the three key points, and depending on the trail and scenario, you can use any combination of those things. So bracing to stay centered, getting a bit lower, dropping the heels, any one or a combination of those three things. At this point, it's good to just add a little bit more why to the conversation and how. So people are still very used to seeing or thinking that if I'm slowing down quickly, I need to move my weight back. And that's a common myth in mountain biking. And I'm teaching this for 20 years now. Every summer, this is one of our favorite things to teach because it's such a light bulb moment, such an aha moment for our students, is when they realize how much confidence, how much power they can put into that front brake, but keep centered on the bike. And the logic behind that is pretty simple. Your body position is your tool to create stability on the bike. but also to create grip. So if I'm centered, I have pretty good weight on both tires. Weight means pressure, which means grip. Both my brakes are going to work pretty well. If I move my weight back, I've just taken weight off the front wheel, less pressure, less grip. That front brake isn't going to work as effectively as we need it to. It's either going to skid or we're just going to lose control. And the other logic behind being centered on the bike is if I'm slowing down, especially on a mountain bike trail, maybe a steep section, if I'm trying to use the front brake or both brakes, if I'm fairly centered on the bike, I can still move, react, control the bike. If I'm in this sort of backseat position and I'm trying to brake hard, I can't really steer, I can't push on the front end, I can't lean the bike, so I end up braking but really being a complete passenger. So the goal here is if I can stay mostly centered whilst I'm braking hard or braking on steep terrain, then A, I have good traction on the front end so that front brake works for me, and B, I'm in a good place on the bike where I can do other things, steer, move, balance. Rather than moving back and then braking, try and just brake gradually and gradually increase the tension in your muscles to maintain that close to center position. Practices at home, just the things you've been seeing me do. Take it easy first off. If you're not super confident, build up to things very gradually. But I promise in a week or two, just practicing this a few times a week, your front brake confidence will be through the roof. And then just remember when you are on the trail, go back to braking normally, go back to using both brakes. But if you have more confidence on the front brake, you're going to bias that brake a little bit more when you need to. You're going to skid less on the rear wheel. You're going to go slower on those steep sections and have more control. And you'll be amazed how much it can impact your riding. So hopefully that's addressed a few myths this week by just going back to basics. And it's something mountain bikers don't do enough of. It's just some basic drills, fundamental skills, and you'll be shredding. So thanks for listening. Have a great week. Stay safe. Wash your hands. And we'll see you next time.